Hey YouTube, it's Olive Wood Piper here, coming to you from Carlo's place. I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas, and I wish you all a Happy New Year. And before I forget, I finally hit 100 subscribers. Thank you all so much. Probably most of the thanks goes to my buddy Sean, also known as Ghost Cop, who has always given me shout outs and encouraged people to check out my channel. So thank you so much, Sean, and thanks everyone else for taking the time to watch some of my videos. Before I start anything, I want to show you the nice shirt that my daughter gave me for Christmas. It says appropriately Olive Wood Piper, and it's got a pipe, and I appreciate that. What I wanted to do today was talk a little about an Italian Christmas, and I'll start out by giving you a little idea of what my childhood Christmases were like. First of all, we never had a whole lot. My dad was a blue-collar worker, didn't make a whole lot of money, and but our Christmases were great. I mean, we each of us got probably 4 gifts, 2 of which were underwear and socks, and we would always get a toy, a couple of toys, and we were very thankful for that and very grateful. We know my dad worked hard, and we appreciated everything he gave us. So just before Christmas, we always put up our Lionel trains, and we would constantly badger my dad. You know, when are you going to put the trains up, Dad? Dad, when are we going to have the trains? He would go out of his mind. He just couldn't stand us constantly asking him. So finally we gave up. We stopped asking him. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, on a Sunday, he would go in the back storage room, pull down the trains, open them up, pull out the board with the tracks on it, and we'd start setting the trains up. And it was a fantastic day. I mean, we were so happy to have the trains. As you can see, there's a photo of me. I guess I was about 4 or 5 years old, and there I am running the trains. I still have those Lionel trains. They still run. I set them up occasionally, every once in a while. I set them up for the grandchildren. They like to watch them, and so we would set the trains up. Then it came to Christmas Eve. In the Catholic religion, Christmas and Easter are probably 2 of the most important holidays. And ordinarily, on Christmas Eve, it was a day of fast in the old days. But the tradition held where it's a meatless day and you eat fish. And the Italian custom, you make 7 fishes. And you obviously have the pasta and whatever else goes with it. Now, my mom made some fish that I was not very interested in, one of which was eel. I couldn't stand the way it looked, and she ate it and whatever. But she would make scungili, shrimp, scallops, the eel, whitefish, I don't know how many other different types of fish, but we had 7 of them. And we'd have a big meal. Probably the biggest meal was on Christmas Eve. It was even bigger than Christmas Day. And then what we'd do, we'd go to midnight mass, and after midnight mass we'd come home and we'd sit up, have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee actually, and then eat some of our Christmas cookies. And the next morning we'd wake up for Christmas Day, open up our gifts, and we'd have a great time. So fast forward to my Italian Christmases with my family. There are a lot of things that my mom made that my kids don't care for, nor does my wife care for, so I really don't make them anymore. But I do still make the Italian cookies. We make a sugar cinnamon twist. That's an anise cookie. It's got aniseed in it, and I put a little anisette liquor in it when I make it. And then I make another cookie, which is a round one, which is called a Tirale, and that's it's like a hard biscuit with a confection of sugar coating on it, and it's really great to dunk in coffees, and 2 of my children really like those. Then there's a third confection that we used to make. I no longer make it because I will probably reduce my life by 20 years if I have it. They're addictive. We used to call them strufels. And what they are is a tiny dough ball that you deep fry, and then you heat up some honey and pour the honey over the dough balls, the fried dough balls. Stir them up really good, lay them in a plate, and let them cool. And boy, I'll tell you what, that is so addictive. I used to make 3-4 plates of that, and I don't do it anymore. I just I can't handle it. It's bad enough we put weight on, and I don't need that as well. So our tradition today with my children is Christmas Eve. We still have the fish, only we have like 4 fish. We put them in the sauce, and I make homemade pasta. And you could see, I think I've got a shot of me pouring the water in the pasta. So I make the pasta like a week or 2 before Christmas, and I freeze it. But it's all homemade, semolina and regular flour and eggs. And before we have the pasta, I get calamari, squid. And I make up a batch of breadcrumb and seasoning. And then we dip it in egg, and then I deep fry it. And everybody loves that. And I gotta say, my son-in-law, who is Indian, is probably the first Italian Indian I ever met. I mean, he loves everything we make. He eats everything we make, and he also treats us occasionally to an Indian dish, which is fantastic. So we really got 2 cultures going on there, which is really great. It enhances the holiday. So we have the calamari, and then we have the pasta with the fish in it. And that's pretty much our major meal. And then after the meal, everybody gets together, sits in the family room, and we watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. We have probably watched that show, oh my God, 23, 24 times, if that. My kids still love it. We still sit around and laugh at it. It's a good time, but it's part of our tradition. And I think now that my grandchildren are growing, they have traditions of their own. And my children are carrying on some of the traditions that we had as a family. And I think that's so important. Any kind of tradition, it doesn't make a difference what it is. If it means you have fried chicken on Christmas or Christmas Eve, that's fantastic. If it's tradition, it's great. But we had a great holiday. Some of you might have seen in one of my previous videos the rocking horse that I made for my little granddaughter, the 1-year-old, the youngest. That was an incredible hit. She saw that rocking chair, her eyes lit up, she ran over to it, tried to get on it. My daughter put her on it and rocked her on it, and she had a smile from ear to ear. And you know what? That made my Christmas. That was the best gift I could have ever asked for, was to see her face when she saw that rocking chair, and she enjoyed it. Actually, rocking horse, not rocking chair. But all in all, we had a great time, and I really hope that you and your families enjoyed the holiday. I know this is a tough time for people that have lost relatives. It's always a sad time when you think about people that have gone before. But you try to look at the positive side, and you try to think of the memories that you had. And I guess that's the best we can do at this point. The last video I made was about a month ago. So I've been crazy. I've been busy doing all kinds of things and running here, running there, chores, doctors, all kinds of stuff. But I promise I will try to do more frequent videos. Try to keep them short. And yes, I am going to have a 100 sub giveaway. I have to think about it for a while, and I will get back to you guys and let you know exactly what it is. I'm probably going to give away one of my olive wood homemade pipes. And in fact, right now, I am smoking a homemade walnut pipe. I guess you can call this an egg shape. A walnut is pretty cool. I've got in it Stokerby's Navy Flake. Walnut is pretty good to use for pipe. It smokes well. The only problem is sometimes you get imperfections as you're working the wood, and in order for you to eliminate the imperfection, you end up having to change the whole shape of the wood, and it could cause it to be lopsided. So I leave the imperfections in there. I make them for myself, so I'm not concerned about that. But as you see, it's a huge bowl. I think it's a 15/16 in there. It lasts me probably an hour and 15 minutes. So I love it. I made the stem out of some acrylic, and actually bent one for the first time. Took a real chance on doing that without messing it up, but it worked out fine. So again, I wish you all a very happy New Year, a healthy New Year. And again, thank you to all of the subs that have gotten me to over 100. As always, health and happiness to you and yours. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Thank you.